Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Mushoku Tensei Season 2 episode number 23 reaction. Okay, the previous episode was one of the most intense episodes. The last, Mushoku Tensei became this intense was, I remember the fight with Orsted. And now this episode, like the whole, what can I say, the whole vibe of that episode was absolutely off the rails. Like they really like, to us audience, at least to me, they really made that battle as like crazy as possible. Like I was genuinely fearing for their safety. But in the end, yeah, things go well up until a certain point, but then we lose Paul. And now, obviously, like Rudy's just completely like broken now. And to put salt on the wound, Zenith, who they saved, I don't know what exactly happened, but it seems like her, like her, what do you call it? Her mental age probably regressed because that's what it seems like. She's like making random noises, and her eyes have like a blank type of a look to it, which kind of makes me think that her like mental age regressed or something like that. This is not just her not being able to speak. It seems she genuinely she's become a child or something like that. Anyways, let's see what happens today. Let's see how Rudy's going to take it. Obviously, he's not going to take it well. He's going to get even more depressed. So I just don't know where this is going to go. But let's see what happens. Episode 23. Let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference. And let's get started. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Oh. Oh, is this? Oh, this is Rudy's past? I mean, the real world, yeah. Oh, that's his parents. Hmm. Oh boy, this is the second time he lost a parent. Oh, his hand. Oh. It's, damn, this is tough. Like he's thinking like I'm not even their son in a way. Like yeah, I am their son, but so oh god. Oh boy. Oh, his, his eyes have sunken, his cheek has sunken. Oh boy, he is definitely not in the mood, yeah. Like, what do you even do in this situation? Like, just, I don't know. Give them time, but at the same time, oh, he still hasn't changed his dress as well. It's still bloody. Oh, this is the first time he's going through like Death in adventuring, isn't it? Hmm. Hmm. Why, this is just so, yeah. What? Okay, what is happening? What? Wait, what? Hello? Okay, I don't think this is what. Okay, er, that came out of nowhere. What the hell? What? Okay, okay, what? That was extremely random. What? I never. Oh my god, what not? Okay, I don't know what to say about this now. I just. That was extremely random. What? How the hell? I never expected that. Yeah, I don't think so. His face doesn't look better at all. He's still depressed. Look at him. Oh my god. Oh wait. Oh yeah, that's true. She doesn't know that he's mad. I forgot about that. I didn't. I completely forgot that she doesn't know that he's married. Okay, I don't think she would have done that if she knew that. And obviously, Rudy was not in a type of situation to. It's just. Yeah, she didn't. Oh god, this is gonna be so weird. Like, Anil's realized. She's like, wait, you don't know the situation. Oh god. Okay, this is not good. I just. Right. Okay, the Zenith situation. So yeah, her mental age has regressed. It does seem like that. Or at least I'm assuming that's what's happening. She's like, remember. Like, if a mental age is regressed, I was gonna say, yeah. Trapped in a memory. Magical impairment. What does that mean? So, when is this to be? Whoa! Oh my god. So she'll be like this forever? Oh my god. Yeah, he has his own but at the same time, his mom is also his family, so. No, can he not just. Yeah. I guess the journey will be not that long because of the teleportation. Oh god, like Lilia and Aisha, what are they going to tell? Oh god, this is just. He still has, I guess. Oh god. Oh yeah, Rudy can do that. Right. I'm like, what the hell? Like, okay, does she know now? I'm hoping Elena is told her. Oh no, she doesn't know. I think she still doesn't know. Oh god. Yeah, like I said, he like respects her a lot, but at the same time, okay, Rudy, tell her that, like, why are you just prolong? Yeah, there you go. I was like, why are you prolonging this? Does she know? She knows. So Eleanor told her. When? Okay. No, wait. So she knew before. Oh my. Okay, I thought she didn't. Okay, never mind. But then, oh god, this is. Excuse. What? What? Oh, that. Yeah, I was like. Yeah, but that wasn't really. I guess it was the first time. Hmm. Oh boy. Um, yeah, Rudy. Okay, you just like that's not the answer. Like, what are you doing? Like, you just. Oh my God. Okay, here's the thing. I hope he goes back and tells Sylvie about this. If he tries to hide this, but again, then again, like telling, at least is better than hiding, I guess, at least. Oh, so that they don't get to know the teleportation. Yeah, we're back home. I guess one more week after this, we have to. Yeah. Yeah. What? Mm. Oh no, is she thinking that. Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say she's talking about that. Followers of Miss are only allowed to take one. So if he's not. Yeah, like I could kind of understand that's what direction this is going to go when Paul was talking about it, but I wasn't expecting it to go like this. Like how this is just. Yeah, it's just. Oh God, this is such a mess. Oh God. Hmm. Yeah, like I guess it depends on but I guess this is a different world. Like people have different like morals and values, so that is why they took it like this. Yeah. You know, like I had a question before. I was like, what about Eris? And now I can see where this is going to go from here. Oh boy. Yeah, like the situation is just so, like, I don't know what to say. Um, I think Sylphie will. I'm pretty sure Sylphie will just be like, because she herself said something like, But I guess this is different. This is marriage, so I don't know. Well, I'm pretty sure she's okay with it, but still, like, she she knows. Oh no, I don't think she knows Sylphie because I guess Rudy met Sylphie after Roxy left. I think, yeah. This is how. Okay, right. What is this? Right. Oh boy. She's like, what? Right. She's trying to piece things together now, and then now she's put things together, and she understands what he's saying. Like this. Ah, boy. Yeah. I I just don't know like how this is. Like I feel like Sif is going to be like okay, but then again, yeah. And another thing, I feel like it was wrong for him to ask Roxy this before asking Sylphie. Like, come on. Like, this is another thing that, like, he could have been like, all right, you know what? Let me go back, talk to Sylphie, then talk to Roxy. And that's why I guess Roxy was like, yeah, talk to me after you talk to your, wife. Again, I feel like this was a wrong decision again. Like, he needed to go back first, tell Sylphie everything, and then, boy. We're the same. Yeah. Now he understands what Paul was trying to say about the oh god. Yo, I just like here's the thing. This is the thing, I knew this was going to go in this direction as soon as Paul brought that up in that episode. But then I don't know. The one thing that I have a problem with is that the way this went, like I knew this was going to go like in this direction, and I was like, all right, you know what, whatever, like this is literally like at first it seemed like a like a normal isekai show, then then the whole like Ares, Sylphie and all that, and then like it seemed like, I don't know, like it was like a normal fantasy show. Then the whole like Paul's situation with the double marriage, all that stuff came in, and I'm like, okay, so it's going to go in that direction. Yeah, like this is a lot of animes go in this direction. It's okay, but then this happened. Like this is what I have a problem with, the way this situation went. Like it is so, I don't know what to say, distasteful, I guess, the way it went. And I'm pretty sure, here's, I'm 100% sure what Sylphie is going to say. Sylphie is probably going to be like, yeah, okay, that's it. I'm pretty sure Sylvie is going to be like when Rudy comes and tells Sylvie this. Sylvie obviously like is going to be extremely heartbroken first, as you know like as you know like as it should be, and then she's going to be like, yeah, okay, sure. I'm sure that's what's going to happen, and then like it's going to and like what's her name? Eleanor said that did Zenith seem miserable to you? You know, and Rudy was like, yeah, but she cried at the beginning a lot, but then everything was okay. I'm pretty sure that's exactly how it's going to go with the whole Sylvie Roxy situation as well. You know, Sylvie is going to be extremely like sad at first. She's going to say yes, but she'll still remain sad. But little by little, it'll probably just become normal. You know, and because this is the thing, this world, the whole like I said, the whole morals and everything is completely different this world. For them, like this is something that happens everywhere. So I guess it'll be easier for Sylphie to like get used to it and accept this because that's literally what the world is built upon. You know, this. So, in that sense, I could say that, yeah, she'll definitely not be happy at the beginning, but then she'll get used to it and everything will be okay. But what I have a problem with is the way this went. If they just went back home normally and then, like he talked to Sylvie and then he decided to marry, like Roxy, I would have been like, it's fine, because that's literally what this show is about. I would have been like, it's okay. But the way the stuff happened is distasteful. But then again, like I said, I guess this is what literally the author is trying to do. Is they're trying to show like how Rudy is just a character who makes so much bad mistakes, and it's just like he's not like some sort of a superhuman being who literally makes all the correct decision, like in most animes that happen, like most of the main protagonists, they're just like has this like a thing where everything they do is correct, everything they do is okay, and even if it seems wrong at the beginning, everything becomes okay by the end of it, and we're like, oh wow, this guy's so amazing, that kind of thing. Like I feel like they deliberately made Rudy like this and made him like this type of a character who messes up so many times, and has dire consequences for it, but he still picks back himself up. But this was again another mistake, and but at the again, and here's another thing, like I just don't know what to feel about this episode, because at first I was like, oh, Roxy doesn't know, Roxy doesn't know that he's married, so she didn't know that. That's why she like did that. I'm like, okay, I guess that makes sense. She didn't know anything, and she said. And then she was like, "Oh, I know, I knew about it. I like okay, obviously she didn't know about it from the beginning, but she knew about it after Paul's death. So she did that while knowing." And I was like, "Okay, that's not okay." But then she starts talking about a few other things, which was like I understand, like like there's other people who decide, like Jeeves and Eleanor decided to leave you alone so that you can get back up on your own. Your wife is not here, this and that, so seeing someone like I care like this, I just didn't know what to do, that's why I did that. And then I'm like, oh my god, like it's just, and she starts crying, and I'm like, okay, like I just don't know what to think about this. It's all messed up, and I just don't know, like it's just, this whole episode was so weird. Like the situation was so weird. Like I was baffled seeing, like I was thinking like, okay, Roxy's gonna come talk to him, like and probably hug him and like say good night and leave. And then that happened. I'm like, well, what's going on? Like and then I was like, okay, maybe it's because Roxy doesn't know. But then I get to know that Roxy knows, and yeah, so this is the problem I have. My problem that I have with this is that I'm not like like I knew this was going to go in this direction, so I don't have a problem with that. Like a lot of shows go in this direction. The whole harem direction and everything. Usually like shows go in the harem direction is way more like weirdly casual about it. Like like they're like, ah, okay, like like a different world is fine, haha, like that kind of thing. It just goes in a very casual like way. However, Mushoku Tensei is like like at least not treating this in this such a casual way, at least, which I guess is a lot better, because like, this is reality. This ain't those shows where everyone will be okay with everything, and like that kind of thing. So at least it's like, it's like, yeah, like that was okay. But then like, something like this, and I'm like, come on, like, do you really need to do this? Like, couldn't they have done it in a, like a more tasteful manner? But like I said, I'm pretty sure this is what the author is exactly doing. This is exactly how he plans on making Rudy a person who makes so many mistakes. like he makes like at least 50% of the things that he does is a mistake, and the other 50% is good. It was way more before, when he was in the real world. It was probably 75% that he was making mistakes, and now at least it has reduced to like 50%, and I'm sure in the future it'll probably reduce to 25%, eventually making him a person who is like actually like a good person. I'm sure that's what's going to happen by the end of it, because that's literally what the author is doing. She's turning him from a complete, like, I don't know what to call him, like complete like failure, I guess, to someone who's not a failure, but who makes a lot of mistakes, and then from here onwards, maybe in the future, is going to, like, yeah. So for example, in today's episode, another thing I was very interested, like, the way he said something like, I was still running away, like, like just like I did in my real life. I was running away from my family. Here I was doing the same, which is true. He was exactly doing that, like, in a weird way, he was trying to distance himself from them, which is pretty obvious. So he realizes that was another mistake that he did in his real life as well, and exactly he did it here as well, and he lost Paul. Like, obviously it's not because of that he lost Paul, but at least, like, like, it leaves a bad taste in his mouth that I wasn't able to change myself. Like, yeah, even if he had a great relationship with his family in this world, I'm sure Paul would have, like, died in this battle. It would have been the same thing. But it makes him feel bad that, like, he realizes this after this, and he wasn't able to change himself for the better, and that's why he says, like, what am I talking about? Like, turning a new leaf, becoming someone better. I literally did the same thing what I did in my real life. But this is, since he got this, like, this whole thing happened. I think from this point onwards, he's going to change a lot, at least in this department, and he's going to, like, at least, like, his current family, like, like Sylphie, like all of them, and Zenith, and Lilia, like his siblings. He's going to at least try to connect with them a lot more than he did before. So after going through this shock, he realizes this. And so this is what happens. He loses something, like, immensely. He does such a big mistake. That's when he understands, and he becomes someone better. So I'm sure from this point onward as well, this won't really be a problem. I'm sure he's going to take way more, better care of his family from here onwards. But I'm sure in the future he's going to make another mistake. I'm sure of it. And the mistake will probably bring in some consequence which he's going to regret again for the rest of his life. But from that mistake, he's going to probably learn again. Like, this is what's going on, And I guess in that sense, it's very realistic, because he's the type of person who has, like I said, he has, like, in his real world, he had like 90% problems and 10% like normal human life, Like 90% was filled with problems. The mistakes that he made, like the whole bullying situation and everything, like 90% consisted of that. So in this world currently, at least he's brought that down to at least a little bit. He's learned a lot. He's gone through a lot of like hardships and stuff, and he's, like, learned more and more again and again and again. And and once he learns, he doesn't make that mistake again. So, but he still is so much. He has so much more to learn, which is one thing I really like about this show. Like I said, like, he doesn't seem like one of those characters who's just like gets isekai. Like, like, this is like a few shows that they did. This is literally the isekai formula nowadays. A character who is extremely like a failure in life gets isekai. In the real world, he gets some cheat abilities, and suddenly, lo and behold, he become this like he all the mistakes that he have made in his real world just goes poof. He turns a complete new leaf within like one night or something. As soon as he gets his cheat power, he becomes some kind of a superhuman being and just understands everything and just suddenly changed, like turned over a new leaf completely. That's literally the isekai formula. If you see most of the isekai shows, like they love making their characters just complete failure in life, and then they love to completely upturn it in one night, like immediately. Which is as a show it's entertaining, I guess. Like, oh my god, yeah. But proper, I guess you could say, realism in that sense, it doesn't work like that. Come on, like, man, like a person who has like 90% problems, they cannot turn a new leaf in one day just because some goddess gave them like some kind of a like mind reading ability, or like some kind of a appraisal ability, or like some kind of a I don't know, like level 1 overpowered ability. No, it doesn't happen like that. like really. So yeah, it's like, this is one thing I really love about this show. It's just like how they do. But then since they're going through this realistic approach, it's so painful for Rudy. Like he has to like move forward, fall down, understand why he fell down, and try to change it from that point onwards, and start walking again from that point, and then again fall down in the future, and then again start walking again. So like, this is one thing I really like about this show. It's kind of real, like excluding all the magic stuff and all that. Obviously those are not real, come on. But the way he's like this character is developing is kind of real. It's not a switch, like on and off button, that switch on, character development on, switch off, character development off. It doesn't work like that. But because it's so real in that sense, it's tough for him. Anyways, I think I went on a complete tangent. I was talking about something completely different. Yeah, what I was talking about. So yeah, I just I knew this was going to go in this direction as soon as Paul said that. But like what just seems a little bit I don't know, like to me, is that the way this happened. Like I said, if he went back home, if he talked to Sylvie and said that, I this, I want to marry Roxy, and Sylvie was like, yeah, sure, why not? And then he talked to Roxy, then got married, and then did the deed. It would have been okay, at least in my book, because that's literally what this show is about. It's just the way that anyways, I just, yeah. But like I said, this is literally the direction this show is taking. It shows Rudy making these mistakes. Another mistake, I think, I wouldn't call it like a huge mistake or something, but it's just like this part where like Rudy goes and talks to Roxy first. I was like, okay, like come on, like you shouldn't have done that. Like just go back to Sylvie first, talk to her first, and then talk to Roxy. And I feel like Roxy immediately realized that's what he should have done. So she tells him that, come on, like go and talk to Sylvie first. Then after that you talk to me. So yeah. Okay, interesting. I didn't know that. So like people who are in the Millis faith, they can only take one wife, and that is why Cliff and Elena Lees, they will have like an obvious, they'll be only like a husband and wife. And people who are not in this faith can, okay. So now here's another thing that I have no idea about. Is there only one religion in this world? Maybe they like explained this before and maybe I just forgot it. But I've heard Millis, I've heard that a lot amount of time in this show. But I don't remember if there's any other, so anyone who's not in any in a religion, I'm guessing, can take multiple wives and husbands. Yeah, I'm guessing. And that's why Lilian immediately was like, oh, like you're not in the Millis faith, neither is Sylvie, are you guys? I wonder what she would have said if like Sylvie was like in the Millis faith or something. I don't know. Good God, that would have been another mess, I guess. Oh boy. So yeah. Right. And like I said, I can pretty much guess what Sylvie is gonna say. It's pretty obvious. Like, come on. Like you know her. Like, you like she herself said something. But then again, like I said, she talked about like, like no, she said take a mistress, didn't she? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm guessing she'll be like, yeah, but then again, like I'm sure she'll definitely be sad, like they said, like Zenith in this situation as well. Zenith was very sad, but then she got used to it, and it's probably because of this world, the way this world works. Because for this world, like at least people who are not in the Millis faith, this is what happens. So I guess it was easier for Zenith to accept that, yeah, this is just normal. Obviously she was sad, but and I'm pretty sure the same thing's going to happen with Sylvie as well. So yeah. And here's another thing. Like I said, like I think I asked this question in one of the previous episode. I was like, okay, I was expecting like Eris to become, like to get married to him or something. I'm like, I don't wonder what's going to happen there. And it's pretty obvious what's not it's going to happen. What's going to happen now? Like, yeah, I think I have my answer. I don't know when Eris is going to come back, but I can see it going in a very similar direction, and I'm pretty sure it's going to go in a very in this exact direction. So yeah, and that was today's episode. Oh boy, this episode. Social media is gonna have a field day with this. Oh boy, I cannot wait to see at least like like posts about Mushoku Tensei, and like for like at least 2 to 3 weeks. No, I think that'll be a bit too much. 2 weeks at least. Like back to back. I'm. Oh God, here we go. Right. Okay. So yeah, that was today's episode. Yeah, I guess. Okay, so like I said, at the end of the day, like I said, like if you ask about my opinion, like my genuine opinion about this episode, like I said, it was pretty obvious it was going in this direction. The only thing that I have a little bit of problem with is the way they did this. Like I said, if she just went back home, talked to Sylvie, and then like all this stuff happened, I would have been like, yeah, it's pretty obvious it's going to go in this harem direction. But then, like at least he went back and talked to like Sylvie further. It would have been okay in my book. But the way this went, the way this happened, and like it's just a little bit weird. Uh, but then again, like I said, this is literally what the show is about. Rudy making mistakes, falling down, and trying to get back up. And this was another one of his mistakes. At least I think this was a mistake. Like he should have gone back and talked to Sylvie, but I guess he wasn't even in that, like his mind, his, like he wasn't even. Yeah, like I feel like the like more than Rudy, I feel like I like I feel like what's her name, Roxy. Like I feel like Roxy was just, I don't know. I didn't expect this. Like I like for Rudy, I'm like, yeah, like Rudy, it's just a guy who messes up everything. I've gotten used to seeing him just mess up every single time. But at least in my head, Roxy was like, but then I cannot, like so, like I feel like today's episode, like like the situation, I feel like Roxy is a little bit more. I cannot say it. I was going to say that Roxy is a little bit more to blame, but I just cannot say that because of the way they just, like in the end, the way they just, I just don't. You know what? Whatever. Let's just move forward. But yeah, like that is my genuine opinion about this episode. Like like yeah, I knew this was going to happen. Obviously, it's pretty obvious after Paul said that. But I just cannot like I don't like the fact that it happened like this. But at the end of the day, yeah, that is what this show is about. And this was, at least I hope, I think this was one of his mistakes, the way this happened. And yeah, I'm pretty sure Rudy also accepts that this was a mistake because He himself said at the end, you can see that, like, why, like, when I used to call my dad a scum, I literally did the same thing. I'm a scum as well. So yeah, he obviously accepts this was a mistake as well, you know. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, okay. Let's now. That was today's episode. Now let me talk about this episode scene by scene. In the very first scene, you can see a little bit of a glimpse of Rudy's past again. Him talking, or not talking. Sorry, him not talking to his parents. Just looking at them and moving. And he says, like, like he didn't even go to their funeral. I remember in season 1 there was that one scene when this one guy barges into his room and he was like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, at least you could have gone to the funeral, like something like that. So yeah, that's what he was talking about. He's like, I should have at least, like, went there and just, said goodbye, even though I didn't have a good, like, relationship with them. Like, I just, here we go. It actually makes me sad how little I loved my folks back then. Yeah, and I guess this is also another reason why he distanced himself from Paul and Zenith, because to him, like, parents, like, he's just not used to, like, like, properly expressing his emotions. And, like, here's the thing, i'm I'm guessing the reason why he didn't really, like, as he said, he didn't love his parents that much. It's probably because of his own situation, like his bullying situation and everything. Like, like, he was just too overwhelmed with that. And I'm guessing he probably, like, since he got no help from anyone, like, I'm sure people tried to help him, but it didn't really work. If you remember, I remember he said, like, his brother actually tried to help him a lot, but he literally ignored him, and then his brother just stopped. So I'm sure at least a few people tried to help him, but in this type of situation, the one, like, who needs to help you is you yourself. If you're not able to get back up on your own in situations like this where literally getting bullied, I feel like nobody can help you. Like, neither can the teachers, or, because here's the thing, like, obviously I have a big problem with the way, like, schools, like, and this bullying situations gets resolved. Like literally teachers can do, or they decide not to do anything. A lot of the situations, they're like, they're just kids playing with each other, like, yeah, that's it. So yeah, like, that's literally what happens most of the time. And even when teachers sometimes understand the severity of the situation, they just try to ignore it because they don't want to get into that situation. There's a few teachers who probably try to help, but that kind of makes the situation even more worse, because the bullies, they target you even more. And probably when the teacher is not looking there. So that's why I'm saying, like, so situations like these bullying situations, they are like the most messiest thing. People, half of the time, people don't try to help you, you just isolate it. And even when people try to help you, the bullies increase it even more. They, like, just think about it. If you, like, like, if some teacher tries to help you and they're like, what the hell are you guys doing, they, like, punish them and everything, the bullies will get even more pissed off about it. And then they'll realize that, okay, you know what, if we cannot bully him in school, let us bully him outside. And then they'll start bullying you outside where there's literally nobody there. And then when that happens, you get scared of going outside, you shut yourself down into your room. That's literally what happens. So that is why I'm saying, like, bullying situations, most of the time you have to be the one who has to help yourself. And a lot of people realize that a lot late, or they do not have that courage to help themselves, and this happens to them. So, like, I'm sure Rudy's situation was like that as well. Few people tried to help him, but it didn't work, and he just, this is what happened. So I don't know whether his parents tried to help him or not. I'm sure they tried, and they probably weren't able to do anything, but probably that is why like, since nobody was able to help him, he just closed off his head and he was like, yeah, nobody cares about me, and he decided, and that is the result. That is why the result was, like, he didn't really care about his parents, and he didn't go. So now he's understanding all the mistakes that he had made, and here, I'm sure because of that, here in this world, he kept a distance from his parents, like that. Obviously, they were not his birth parents. That's number one. He literally came here as an adult in a little baby's body, you know. But yeah, but also like because of his previous experiences, this is what happened. Um, Another thing he kind of says here is like he's blaming himself as well, because as he says, he's not really that child in that sense. At least that's what he thinks, because he was literally an adult in a baby's body. Um, so he says like, why did you save me? You could have just left me alone. I'm a fake. You have your true families, and it's like Aisha, Lilia, them to, like, uh, sorry, Aisha, Lilia, Non. I forgot. I was like, wait, who am I missing? Yeah. So you have them to take care of. Why did you lose your life for a fake like me? And this is also eating at him, because he's like yeah, like I'm not even their kid in that sense. But if you think about it, to Paul, he was his child, obviously. Like, because yeah, like to Paul and Zenith, Rudy is definitely their child. Even though for Rudy it's a little bit different, because he was a little adult to them. So I'm sure they don't, like they definitely wouldn't think like that. But Rudy's blaming himself for this, and he's just yeah. So that happens, and then later on Roxy comes. Like I said, I was thinking like it's probably going to be like Roxy talks to him and then like tucks him into the bed and goes away or something. Maybe stay there for the rest of the night, probably patting his head, trying to let him go to sleep. I was thinking something like that. But then that whole thing happened, and I'm like, okay, what the hell? I wasn't expecting that, at least in this type of situation. Right. Anyways, but yeah, Roxy comes in and Roxy talks to him, and you can see obviously like Rudy's not really comfortable talking to her, because he doesn't really want to, like he's doing the same thing again. He's trying to run away from that situation, trying not to think about it. So when Roxy comes in and starts talking about Paul and Zenith and how they were good to her and everything, and how she has lost people as well, he gets mad, and he's like, what are you even talking about? Your parents are okay. Like you never lost anyone like that before. Like how can you tell that to me? Like like you don't have any experience, and like, and you cannot say that you understand me. And yeah, and he's like, yeah, he said, and this is where he says like, I literally tried my blind eye to my family. I I just like, I thought I had changed, at least, but it was the same thing I was doing. What, like, I haven't changed. It was the same. Like I didn't do, like like I turned a blind eye to my family in my real world. I literally did the same thing here again. So I haven't changed. And I was just content with myself, thinking that yeah, I'm becoming a better person. And he's blaming himself and everything. And Roxy comes and hugs him, and Roxy's like, and Roxy says that like they were like family to me too. Like they took care of me. They showed me the warmth of a family when I was all alone. you know so you're not alone. Yeah. And then that whole thing, Rudy tries to go away, but Roxy comes and like pushes him onto the bed. And yeah, I was baffled. I was like, okay, what? Right. And then like next morning, like, and this is where I was like, oh, maybe Roxy doesn't know. That's why. But then that later on, that also got like like got cleared up. Um. Okay. Okay. So here we go. Here's where Rudy's like, what should I do now? Like like this just. And she says that wait a minute. Now here's the thing. I thought like she does say that, oh, you have your own family to think about, they're all waiting for you. At this point as well, I didn't realize that he knows about Sylphie. I thought she was talking about Lilia, like Zenith, his siblings. I was thinking that's what she was talking about. She was talking about like, oh, face forward, your family is waiting for you. So I was like, oh, but now I'm understanding. She's actually talking about Sylphie as well over here. So she knew what she did, and she told him that, you know what, you have your family, go back to your family, you don't have to think about me, you know. Right. But yeah, at that point I was thinking like she was talking about his, like, you know, like his parents, not parents, I guess parents, because you know Lilia is also kind of like a mother to him, parents and siblings. Right. Okay, then they go outside and Elena Lee sees this, and Elena was like Roxy. Now here's another funny thing. I thought here Elena Lee was like, wait, Sylphie, like, oh no, you know, like, you know, what did you do? And I was thinking she was going to talk to Sylphie, and she not Sylphie, sorry, Roxy. Did I call her Sylphie? Okay. Like Roxy, he would be like, okay, Roxy, come, and he's going to tell Roxy about the whole situation, how he's married, how, you know, and Roxy would be like, what the hell, I didn't know that. I thought that was why she was surprised there, and she was like, you know, now I understand why Elena was surprised there. She was surprised that even though Roxy knew, she still went. That's why Elena was surprised there, not because of what I thought, you know. But anyways, so later on we see that he goes to Zenith, and you know Lilia's like, it's still the same, and you know, like he talks about, like, he's like, how is this going, like, oh, like, do we, like, is there any way to turn her back? And Lilia says that no, apparently this is, if what Elena said is true, it won't happen. She's going to be like this forever. Now here's another thing. I think, like, even if it's for now, it's like, it seems like it's incurable. I think in the future it will be, because you know this is Mushoku Tensei. I'm sure, like, you know, we have a lot of people here who might be able to figure something out, you know. And Rudy's someone who has, you know, like, contacts with a lot of, you know, like, geniuses, a lot of good people. For example, like, you know, I'm thinking about Nanahoshi and all of them, you know. Maybe someone will be able to tell Rudy something that, oh, maybe this will work, you know. And you know, because here's the thing, you know, like, a lot of things take, like, for example, at first we thought we were going to take at least 2 years to come here or something, you know, like that. Not 2 years, sorry, well, 2 years to come and go, yeah. But then, like, Nanahoshi was like, oh, I have the teleporter, so you know, like, that got resolved like that. Maybe something like that will happen in the future, and somehow this will get resolved, because I don't know, I just cannot accept the fact that Zenith will be like this forever from here up until the very end. I think some way or the other it will change. We don't know exactly how, but you know, let's wait for it. Now here Lilia says that, even though, like, you know, I would like to say something extremely rude, I hope you don't mind anything. And she says, like, you focus on your family, you know, leave this to me, you know. Now I think that's not what's going to happen. Rudy's definitely, like I said, he now, like, you know, he has understood that, yeah, I have to, you know, like, I wasn't, like, looking at my family properly. I was still trying to keep a distance with them, you know. So I think Rudy will not really accept that, because if he accepts this and he's like, yeah, sure, you know, you take care of Zenith, I'll look at my family, I think that'll be wrong. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think Rudy's going to be like, no, like, you know, you guys are also my family, so you know, I'll like, you know, like, I'll look after you guys as well. At least I hope that's how it goes, because if that's not how it goes, if Rudy's like, yeah, sure, you take care, I don't know, I won't really be happy with this, because it would mean that Rudy literally learned nothing, you know. At least I think he learned from this whole thing, and I'm sure he's not going to make that mistake again, hopefully. Let's see. Okay, and then they're like, all right, let's go back. They're going through the desert, you know, and you know, and then one night when they're camping, they have this conversation, Roxy, and this is where Roxy's like, no, sorry, okay, here's the thing. I was like, Rudy, tell her, come on, you know, like, don't prolong this, don't try to, you know, like, hide it or anything, you know. And when Rudy's like, you know, like, I like it, in his head he's thinking, I like Roxy as well, and he's thinking about Sylphie, you know. And then he's like, you know what, Roxy, I'm actually this, I'm married, and I have a child on the way, you know. And I was like, okay, now Roxy maybe is going to get surprised or something. Roxy's like, oh, I knew about it. And I'm like, what? So when did you know about it? I'm pretty sure you didn't know about it back then when, you know, like, Paul was there. So I'm guessing it happened after that. Yeah, that's what happened. After coming back, I'm guessing Ellen Lee told. I'm thinking like something like this happened. Roxy probably went and talked to Ellen Lee, and Roxy was like, why are you guys not trying to help Rudy out? You know, like, why are you leaving him alone? because she said something like that, and I'm sure Elena and Giz were probably like, this is Rudy we're talking about. I think leaving him alone for the time being is the best situation. We shouldn't try to do, like, and Roxy was probably like, okay, so then I'm going to go and talk to him. At which Elena probably was like, stop, if you don't know about this, but I think I should tell you, he's married and he has a child on the way. I think that's how the conversation went. And Roxy, that is when Roxy realized, and Roxy was like, oh. And then Roxy still went, and like, this is how it went, I'm assuming. Either way, and this is where Rudy was like, I think I should, like, how should I repay you? At which Roxy was like, you don't have to repay me. If you want to repay me, just go back home, be happy with your family, and just forget about this. This is like and this is where she tells, like, like, why, even though she knew that he's married, she did that. She says, like, like I talked to Elenis and Geese, they decided to leave you alone, and I'm sure after going back, your wife would, like talk to you and help you out and brought you back up. But she's not here now, and seeing you like this, the person I love, I couldn't, accept it. Yeah, but I'm like I said, I'm okay with everything. Like I said, I feel like it would have been completely fine if she went there, talked to Rudy, like when Rudy was trying to leave, stopped him, tucked him into bed, pat him on the head, I don't know, sing a lullaby or something, and little by little let him go to sleep. I think that would have been perfect. I just don't know why she thought that this was a... Okay, anyways, right, so... And then she starts crying, and and this is where Rudy was like, oh no, maybe, like, one last time, like, seeing how she's depressed. But then Rudy was like, no, what am I doing? I'm literally doing the same mistake. Like, this is not only, this is going to make the situation even worse, like the whole situation with Sylphie, even Roxy, I'm going to be hurting her, like, in the long run if I try to do something now. And even Roxy's like, no, yeah. So then they move forward, and then they come to the teleporter, like, they put the blindfold on there, so that they don't get to know where it is and all that. Then one night, Elenis talks to Rudy, and Elenis is like, okay, Rudy, you're not in the Millis faith, are you? Either is Sylphie. And as soon as she said that, I'm like, okay, I can see where this is going to go. And she's like, then I would like to say to you that marry Roxy. Like, I cannot let my friend, I guess they were like, like friends. They spend a lot of time together, like Elena Lace and Roxy, I think like at least 2 years at least, like, looking for Rudy and all that, so they're really good friends, so it makes sense. So yeah, she's like, I cannot let Roxy like see like that, like, and he says, like, she says, like, I know, like at least Cliff and my situation, we're from the Millis faith, and like it seems weird for someone like me to say this, but I'm very happy that it's like Millis faith, like it's like only one person you can be married with, but for your situation, I feel like, like you should get married to her as well. And but, and obviously Rudy's like, but Sylphie, I just don't know, like, I want to, like, I cannot do that, and this is where Elena says, oh, and it also talks about Zenith and like Lilia, and says, like, was Zenith, like, sad? And Ruth was like, yeah, she was sad, but at first, but then she, like, she was okay with it. And like I said, I feel like the reason why she was able to adapt to it so well is probably because it's this world. This is something very normal, So obviously she will be sad, and I'm definitely sure Sylphie will be sad as well. But Zenith adapted to it because of obviously how this world is, and I'm guessing Sylphie will also adapt to it eventually. And yeah, either way, and this is why Rudy's like, I want to make them both happy, but I cannot if I want to. And then he says, like, I don't know what about, I don't know about, like, Roxy or Sylphie. I doubt they'll accept it. And this is where Elena was like, oh, then talk to Roxy now. Now here's the thing, like I said, I feel, again, I don't know, this is a very small, subtle, like, thing, but I feel like he should have talked to Sylphie first. Like, talking to Roxy here was, I don't know, man. Yeah. So, anyways, he talks to Roxy, and he obviously at first he couldn't really tell her, but then he, like, in a roundabout way, he's like, oh, like, will you change your last name? You know. At first he's like, oh, Sylvie, she didn't have a last name, so she became Sylvia Grey Rat. And so I'm thinking whether you could change your name to Roxy Grey Rat as well. I think her name is Roxy Migudia, isn't it? Yeah. And in this roundabout way, and she's like, what is he talking about? And then it little by little it registers in her head, and she's like, at first she's happy, and then she's like, no, not now. Talk to Sylvie first. You know, which I think was correct. And she says, like, talk to Sylvie first. If then, it's okay, then come and talk to me. Because here's the thing, what feels like a very distasteful thing to me here is that he's talking to Roxy about this, and if Roxy says yes, that would kind of mean that Sylvie's, even though she's, like Rudy's wife, Sylvie's input on this, or her like thoughts about this, doesn't matter, because Rudy literally talked to Roxy, and Roxy was like, yeah. So I'm glad that Roxy didn't answer him. It's like I say, it's a very subtle thing, but I feel like this was again such a distasteful decision. He needed to talk to Sylvie first. If Sylvie's okay with it, then only he can move forward. Talking to Roxy first and getting her input on this is extremely wrong. At first, getting her input on this is extremely wrong. And I think Roxy immediately understood that. And Roxy was like, no, talk to Sylvie first. If she says yes, then only this can continue. Don't ask me first. Like, it doesn't matter if I say yes or no. Talk to Sylvie first. She's the most important person to you. Talk to her first. If your most important person is okay with it, then only I'll be okay with it. And I'm glad that's what happened. Yeah. Anyways, right. And like, then they move forward. And Rudy looks at his sword and he's like, yeah, I'm the same. You know what? We are the same. Right. And that's where it ended. So yeah, and now, like, now I'm kind of understanding why Hitogami said that. He said that if you go, you're going to lose something. If you don't go, you're going to lose something. I'm assuming if he didn't go, Zenith will probably be stuck there, so he would have lost his mother. And if he went, he would lose his father, which we saw. So it makes so much sense why he said that. And he did say that, I feel like he did say that not going is better in this situation, because like, here's the thing, if he didn't go, like, I at least think his relation with Paul was a lot more stronger than his relation with Zenith. And if he went with Paul, if he didn't go with, I'm guessing Paul wouldn't even find Zenith there, and they'd probably come back. So, but what would have happened is that they would have been like, oh, Zenith is missing, we don't know if she's alive or well, like dead, and like, Paul would have been still alive. So the loss amount would be a lot more smaller than like what it is now, because they went there, they lost Paul, and they did get Zenith back, but Zenith, like, is completely, like, her brain is just completely regressed. So I think, like, the loss is way more here than if he didn't go. But I think he did the correct decision going there, because if he didn't go there, Paul, Rudy, every single person would have just wallowed in a regret, and they would have been like, I could have done something, and I didn't do it. Paul would have regretted the fact that they couldn't complete the dungeon, and like, maybe if Zenith was there, he probably would have been like, I could have found her if she was there. He would have regretted that, and Rudy would have regretted not going there and changing something. So at least in that sense, I think this was the correct decision. They lost a way more than they would have, but at least they don't like, I'm sure they regret a lot of the things that they did, but they don't regret not going there, that kind of thing. Like, basically, like, in a simplified way, just think about it like this. You do something and regret it, or you don't do something and regret it. Which is better? That's basically what it is. If you didn't do something and regretted it, it would have been way worse than doing something and regretting it. At least that's what I think. Anyways, and there you go. That was it. That was today's episode. So yeah, let's see what happens in the next episode. I think the next episode is the finale, and yeah, so there you go. That is it. Thanks for watching, guys. This was my reaction to episode number 23 of Mushoku Tensei season 2. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Mushoku Tensei. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.